Most martial arts instructors don't really get the chance to learn how to be a martial arts instructor. Most of us will show up on a volunteer basis or express that we are interested to become a martial arts instructor. And next thing you know, we have a group, we're live, and we're trying to reverse engineer what our instructor did for us with no plan. So in this video, I'm going to share with you a 4-part class lesson plan that has helped me throughout the years and the thousands of students who have come through my academy. Now, there isn't any accreditation or certification that can quantify being a martial arts instructor, but I do understand that there are some certifications that have value, like the Safe Sport certification, CPR and AED, and obviously a background check, because we're in a community and we want to make sure that our students and family members and friends feel that it is a safe environment to train in. Now, I teach 3 different martial arts: Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and Filipino martial arts, and this template has helped me keep everything running smoothly so I don't have to overburden my mind with so many different styles of teaching. So, and you can modify this as needed because it's not the end-all be-all. I'm just going to show you the different sections. So let's break it down. The first part is the warm-up, the most crucial part of class. Now, aside from the physical aspects of what the warm-up does, like getting the blood warm, getting the body moving, getting stretching down, or moving the mind from the outside world to be focused onto what they're working on, the most important ingredient inside of the warm-up is consistency. And that's actually where the very first block of confidence is built. A mentor had told me once that a predictable instructor creates a predictable student. From a combat perspective, we want elements of being unpredictable because of the nature of the fight. But as far as confidence is concerned, we want to do things in such a way that each student knows what's going to happen next, and that builds confidence. So let's borrow from my Muay Thai Explorers class, who are ages 5 to 7. My consistent routine of the warm-up is, number 1, they will jump rope, and I'll give them about 2 minutes. Number 2, we do what's called dot drills. And if I were to turn the camera on the mat that we're on right now, I have pieces of tape that are evenly spaced out, and I call the pieces of tape dots. So I have all of the kids spread out on the dots, and then they do these practices. And on there, we do 15 seconds of front to back footwork, front to back footwork, right? And that one's split up with the left foot in front, then the right foot in front, and then switching. So this is like a basic, consistent warm-up. And then when we're finished with that, then I move on to the next piece, and that would be the echo drills. Now, I switch this up from time to time, but the format is always the same. In the kids' minds, they do know that when they come in, they have jump rope. And then the next part, they work on their balance, their footwork. And then on the next part, we're going to drill out some combination or technique that we're learning for the day. Right? So the consistency here throughout the warm-up builds their confidence, and it helps them acclimate to how class is. And next thing you know, they experience a degree of success. Which brings us to the second part. Second part of class is our technique, which I kind of gave a hint to. Technique. Excuse my handwriting, I gotta be consistent with the capital letters and the lowercase over here. So, technique or drills. So you have like basics kids, and then you have like the intermediate and above. Depending on which group that you're doing, let's just say we're borrowing technique. And in this part of class, we're gonna go slow enough that allows the learning to take place. Right? So I would call this learning mode. It's where we give the students enough time to process, explore what it feels like when they're performing the technique. And inside of the learning mode, we want to do what's called PCP. So this is one part of it right here, PCP, and that stands for praise, correct, praise. Again, I'll borrow from Muay Thai. Let's say the kid is learning how to do the jab, and he's throwing it out like this, right? We can see a whole bunch of things that they need to improve. We need to put their shoulder up, we need to put the hand down, they have the chin down, they have to have the proper stance, the weight distribution, the left foot in front of you, like a whole bunch of different things. But we need to just pick one. So let's say the kid's throwing the jab out like this. So the first P, praise. I like how you're throwing the jab out. Correct. Let's put the hand right here. So then when they start practicing, good, keep going. So that would be an example of praise, correct, praise. We're sandwiching what potentially makes them think that they're doing things that are wrong, but always telling them double the amount of how good of a job they're doing in some other way. So praise, correct, praise. The second part of learning mode would be the 3 times rule. That one's super important. Because if you correct somebody, let's say you're using PCP, I like how you're throwing the jab, let's put your hand up here. Maybe they're practicing it a few times and you're saying good, and then they'll go back to doing it this, right? And they're not focusing on that thing. So you correct them a second time, right? We're approaching 3. Put your hand up, and then they start practicing it like this, and then you'll give them the third time to put their hand up. Let's keep putting your hand up, and then next thing you know, it starts drifting. Good, you did 3 times, and then you're just gonna let them practice wherever they are. Through time, right? So we don't wanna hold them still the entire class because they're going to experience disinterest, they're not feeling like they're doing a good job, and it really takes away the energy of class. So these 2 things in learning mode I think is really, really important. Not just for kids ages 5 to 7, it also works for the kids ages 8 to 12, which we call our juniors program. And it also helps adults because we don't want to keep getting corrected all the time, right? So this is a universal item when you're in this part of class, right? You can actually do it over here as well. And a lot of questions that I get asked from some of my assistant coaches here is, how do I apply it over here? And there's some personality ideas that we can talk about, but that's going to be saved for a completely separate video. So second part of class is techniques and drills, depending on what you want to do. Learning mode, PCP, 3 times rule. All right, the third part of class, partner dynamics. And I'm going to go ahead and use capital letters here because I want to be consistent. Partner drills. This is the part where we give them how it actually works in combat simulation. Partner drills, I like to call it the chess game. Right, chess game. That's at least how I picture it in my mind, the chess game. Chess game has 3 parts to it. The opening, the middle game, and the end game. Now, most of the time when we're teaching class, we're doing a lot of this middle game stuff. But I want you to see that when you're doing the split of the partner drills, you want them to only practice one part. So like, let's say, jiu-jitsu. The opening is the takedown itself, whether you're going to pull guard, do a wrestling move, or maybe do some sort of judo technique. That's the opening, right? Like, you don't do the entire chess game in one go. You want everybody to find their consistency inside of one of this so they feel the progress is being made. There is an area that they can troubleshoot their technique in a focused area of class. Maybe it's the middle game, you know, we're now in closed guard and one side has to do the sweep versus pass, right? And during the technique drill over here, we introduce them the scissor sweep, right? And over here, we want them to find success in scissor sweep while resistance is being made. Now, you can change the different levels here from cooperative to less cooperative to a degree of resistance to full-on resistance, but it's still within that particular section of the chess game. Maybe you're doing the end game, like submission versus escape. And it could be something like that. And this would be the partner drills to give them confidence that whatever they're learning actually works. Partner drills. And then that brings us to the fourth part of the class, the workout. But wait, right? The partner drills right here had some sort of workout element to it. That's true. But it's an isolated part, right? We're not trying to give them the full game. So I'll continue with jiu-jitsu. Now the workout could be full sparring. We want to do 30 minutes of full spar, 5 rounds of 5 minutes apiece, and this is where you would put it during the workout. Let's say it's let me go ahead and write that down here. BJJ full spar. Or what if you're not wanting to do full spar? Maybe it's speed drills, like you're preparing for something and you want them to get the workout part by doing, 3 rounds of spinning arm bar, top spin, or single leg takedown. I don't know what that might be. Whatever the workout of the day could be, we're just having them do that. But wait, there's this drill part. That's true, it's in here, but we want them to learn it here, and we want them to do the workout part here, the speed, the commitment, the working through fatigue, all of that stuff. Right, so spar, or I'll just kind of write speed drills. Speed drills. And again, you can modify as needed. Let's say Muay Thai. It could be full spar as well. Maybe it's pad rounds. Maybe it's heavy bag rounds. Maybe it's a mix of these 3, right? 1, 2, and 3. Which one would be 1, 2, and 3? Kind of like that, right? Whatever you want to do inside of the workout, it'll be placed there. You want to do maybe 20 minutes to 30 minutes. Pretty good. How do you know that you did this well? At the very end of class, you want to self-reflect, and I'm going to write this down here. It's called the 3 S's. Okay, that is smiling, sweating, and satisfied. The 3 S's. If you have all 3, you did this right. If you're missing one, find out which section to troubleshoot, just like how we would troubleshoot our own sparring, our own games, right? We want to troubleshoot where it is. Was it in the warm-up? Was it in the technique part of class, or the drilling part of class, the learning part of class? Could it have been in the partner drills? Maybe you saw some mismatch and the smiling wasn't there anymore because they went with somebody that just crushed their spirit the whole time. I don't know. Pay attention to that. Or maybe it was something in the workout. Maybe you didn't give them enough time. Because I know for myself, in the beginning parts of being an instructor, time management is definitely a hurdle, right? Like, you want to get something accomplished. You find so much value in whatever you're doing, it starts taking time from the other parts of class, which circles back to what I was talking about at the beginning of the video. Wherever you find that you need more time, you can borrow. Let's say you got the warm-up so good, you don't need 15 minutes here, right? Because we have 4. I forgot to write that down. We have like 15 minutes here, 15 minutes here, 15 minutes here, and 15 minutes here. Maybe you got so good at the warm-up, you no longer need 15 minutes. You maybe put 5 there, which gives 10 minutes buffer to go over here. So next thing you know, you're doing 25 minutes of technique control. But then maybe you're thinking, I don't need that much time. Maybe you only need 15 minutes here. Let's give the 10 minutes to this side, right? And that's what I mean about modifying and rearranging as you need. Hopefully this video had delivered a lot of value. Give it a try. Let me know how it goes.